So a 1-0 win for Wolves at home to Sheffield United, and overall a pretty similar performance to the Fulham game, really. I think that we were pretty below par, pretty average for the majority of the game. I thought we were very slow in possession. I thought we were a bit tepid in our challenges. We weren't really confident on the ball. There were some moments during the game where we played some nice one-touch stuff, but I think overall, yet again, really negative tactics, and it really frustrates a lot of us that we're seeing us playing 5 at the back against a team who are in 20th place. You know, we've spoken a lot about being a team in transition and a team that's evolving. We haven't seen that this season. I know Nuno recently said in an interview that he hasn't been able to do the things he wanted to this season, but just starting young players, Vitinha, Artasari, Silva, players that have shown energy when they've played. I know there's some fans that don't see the whole fuss about them, but they are really good players from what we've seen them do so far. And for them to not be getting games when we're not playing well is a big concern. But Nuno knows the players better than anyone else, I guess. So, you know, we're sort of looking at it from an outside perspective. So the team itself was disappointing and the performance was predictable, really. Like I said before, slow in possession. I thought defensively we weren't really troubled, but the problem was we were sitting back and allowing pressure and inviting pressure on and conceding chances. And to a team that are so poor, got 14 points this season, one of the worst teams in the Premier League of all time, and we're sitting back, we're letting them create chances, and we're not really doing anything of our own. I thought a particular standouts for me today. I thought Vitinha had a few shaky moments, but I thought he was decent. Dendoncker was okay. I thought the defence was actually alright. I thought our wing-backs were probably the most energetic out of the whole team. Semedo in particular had a really good game again. Could have got a couple of assists, particularly in the second half. Played in Adama quite a few times, and Adama's, again, his decision-making was just really poor. I thought Vitinha looked quite bright when he came on. But overall, there wasn't really masses of positives. I think the big positive was Willian Jose finally getting his first goal. I think it was right, considering the goal that he got disallowed last time out against Fulham. I think it was really good to see him get his first legitimate goal for Wolves, although the last one was legitimate, I think, anyway. Really good to see. Good play from Adama. I know I criticise his decision making, but really good cross, good positioning from Willian, and a good finish as well, and that's exactly the reason why we brought him in, to finish those sorts of chances. Overall, though, it was a very below par performance against a very average team and a very poor team. There were a couple of moments that they broke on us the same way West Ham did, and they just didn't have the firepower to finish it. So, whilst it wasn't the best performance, clean sheet and a win twice in a row now. I mean, you know, these are the sorts of games that we were probably expecting to slip up in again, but we haven't done that. So, 2 wins on the bounce. Let's be honest, the football is pretty terrible, but it's a win, and hopefully we can sort of just get to the end of the season and recuperate, really. So yeah, not the best, but another 3 points. Can't be too displeased.
Final score of the game was Wolves 1 at Sheffield United in the game where we got the 3 points, but the negatives is absolutely everything else. I feel as though this season now is completely written off, and it's going to be a case of, you know, just building towards next season and see what players can do it for us. I felt as though the first half has gone very similar to the way that the first half has gone. Seems though since Cody's interview where we said, you know, we were going to improve on the first half performances, we don't look like we do, and that we were too slow, we were too passive, we were just too negative again. Again, it's another Wolves performance where I've seen that multiple times this season. There still isn't really anything that gives me hope that we're actually, you know, trying to improve in the first half. As Nuno has said many times in his press conferences, that we actually are. Second half again was in a similar manner. It just was not good enough. The only positive was individual play from Adama Traore got us the goal. I mean, I'm glad Willian Jose's got his goal, but Jesus Christ, apart from that, there wasn't really anything to talk about. It was just boring Wolverhampton, unfortunately. Between now and the end of the season, it's a case where there's no worry we'll go down. I don't think, with the exception of obviously the Fulham game, which is quite big in the sense of if we lost, we'd be in that position. But other than that, I don't think there was really any fear of us going down. It's a case of building towards next season. And looking at today's performance, is there anything that suggests to me that we're going to move forward? No, there really isn't. And I don't think we're going to move forward under this manager, unfortunately, which is a shame because, don't get me wrong, I am a big fan of Nuno. But the problem is there's sentimental value which this football club decided to get rid of with certain players because they were good enough in the Championship. Doesn't mean they're going to be good enough now. And I think Nuno has passed his time date, unfortunately. A couple of other things that I feel as though need to be mentioned as well is the fact, like, why are we starting our best team when it's a game against the worst team in the league. I feel as though no matter what team we'd put out on paper, we've got a chance of beating Sheffield United. So I still don't get why, Theo wasn't playing, Vitinha, Fabio Silva from the start, Max Kilman, those four players, for example. You could probably add a couple more youngsters in there as well, as to say, are you going to be good enough for next season? Are you going to move us forward? But no, Nuno's gone back to the cosy club of, Saiss, Cody, Moutinho. And you're just looking at those, and Fabio and Willian Jose as well to a degree. You're just looking at them and just thinking, like, why are we persisting with a Willian Jose who, until today, he hadn't scored any goals for God knows how many games and didn't even look good at all. And he's not even going to be our player next season. So why are we wasting our time with him when we've spent a quote-unquote £35 million investment just to, have him on the bench for the last 5 minutes? It's not going to develop players. The only player that's developed, unfortunately, is Pedro Neto. But, I mean, you've got Otasawi again. What have we done with him under his development? It's a case where these players could potentially be good enough for us next season, but we've never had any opportunities to see that they're actually good enough. But I don't know. It's a 3 points today, but it's a 3 points that, I mean, any Wolves fan should have come in today expecting us to get the 3 points, especially against that calibre of opposition. But it was the way that we actually looked worse than Sheffield United for long periods of time has actually got me a little bit worried about us. But I mean, that's the only thing that can really be said, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think just the final thing that needs to be mentioned as well is just the slow, passive football. I mean, we were so worried about attacking. We were so worried about conceding to a Sheffield United team that have only got 14 points this season. And there wasn't anything to suggest to me that this is going to be a positive performance and actually, a sign of where you look, there could be a turning point towards next season. That could build us on a momentum. That's not momentum. That's just individual brilliance from Adama Traore has won us the game. But other than that, it was just, let's not lie to ourselves, it was Anyway, thanks for having me on Talking Wolves. And I'll hopefully catch you in a couple of weeks where, we beat Burnley in a very similar fashion. Cheers, guys.
So from about half an hour of the match that I watched, probably spent about an hour of it looking down a glass at my phone or indeed my Muller corner, which was really nice. That was really boring, and I think that was the tale, as Don Goodman said on commentary a few times, that was the tale of both our seasons. If we win like that. It feels like we're still not happy when we win, apart from a few select occasions, maybe Arsenal, Chelsea. We win like that, and Sheffield United lose like that. They've had a lot of 1-0 losses this season, whereas they had a lot of 1-0 wins last season. It's horrible to relegate someone. I can't really remember ever doing that as a Wolves fan, relegating someone, especially a team that I don't mind as well. I quite like Sheffield United, so that was a shame. Nothing happened. Bolly nearly scored a nice back heel into the top corner. That would have been a nice one. And Willian Jose scores something that he really shouldn't miss. So it doesn't really change my mind on the fact that I don't think we should really sign him, especially for the fees that have been quoted. But I suppose you've got to stick it in the net. I probably wouldn't have been able to do it from there. So Adama, again, creating chances. I think I've seen in the last 12 days, he's got like a goal, 2 assists, and within like the last 10 months, he had nothing. So it's crazy. Hitting form at the moment. Good swap into my FPL this week. And that was really all to say about the game. Yeah, just a bit of a weird one. Feels sad to relegate someone. We didn't play well. Saw flashes of Vitinha and Fabio Silva at the end, but not too entertaining. Now we definitely are safe. We're over that 40 points mark. Let's just have a go, please. Let's not necessarily even it has to be 4 at the back. Let's play attacking 5 at the back with fresh young talent in there. Let's see what happens. But I suppose we're over the mark now. That golden 40 points is ours. Job done, I guess. See you next time.
Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0, and all I can say is I'm so happy for the 3 points. Well done, Willian Jose, for getting finally on the score sheet. Pedence played awesome today. Traore was making some absolutely brilliant runs. Nice to see Bolly back. Altogether, the first half wasn't too great, for both sides, but Sheffield never looked actually that they were really could score. Never did we in the first half, but in the second half we actually came. We showed that we've got drive, we've got strength going forward, and the nice little flick from Willian Jose into that back of the net I've been waiting for literally well, a long time. But well done, Wolves, and on to the next game. And I'm hoping for a nice, solid finish this season. And all we can do is look forward to the next season when we can get all the fans back in the stadium. Thanks, guys. Thanks for talking Wolves, for having me on. Bye-bye.
Alright then, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Sheffield United 0. Interesting game. I was hoping for us to play less defensively. We pulled it back most of the time. They were in our half for pretty much the majority of the game. We got a couple nice counter-attacks where I felt like we should have tucked them away. I was really hoping for at least a 2 or 3-0 win to show off almost for what we can do. Obviously, Neto being out, it's a lot harder to do things like that. Jose finally scored a goal, no offside this time. First goal for him. Again, I mean, I don't know if we should really buy him at the end of the season. It's been 12 games and it's his first goal. I mean, I'm happy for him, of course, but, you know, it's a risk taking him in. Traore got the assist, slowly getting back on form. Really want to see him back to his good ways, his best ways, back on form in next season. My man of the match would definitely be Traore for that assist and also just constant attack. Great game for him overall. On to Burnley next, who we should hopefully win.
Right. Well, where do we begin with that one? Very, very boring, but we got the job done. Seems to be sort of like the narrative of our games this season. Just like really poor first half, and then just wait for the one opportunity we get a game to score a goal. For the few positives that we did have, I thought Adama was really good, and I thought Podence was brilliant defensively today. Not a role he's used to, but yeah, just really helped the team. I thought Semedo was absolutely fantastic. This guy's such a baller. But yeah, it's one of them. Like we're defending on the edge of our own box against a relegated Sheffield United. It's just, you know, like coward tactics. It's the same coward tactics that cost us top 6 last season. We needed 1 point to get in that top 6, and you know, we just play on the edge of our box against Sheffield United, who, well, let's be real, always going to get relegated. There was nothing they could do, so they had complete, you know, freedom. But I don't know if it's sort of like a mindset thing with these players, like just, you know, defend as hard as you can until we do get this one opportunity a game to score. Problem is, you know, we played that deep against Sheffield United, and we've got Burnley and Brighton coming up, who are our bogey teams. We never beat Burnley or Brighton, and then we also have a chance to, you know, potentially relegate West Brom. So hopefully, you know, we don't sit on the edge of our box, because again, Brighton are another team who are right down there, and they're just going to come at us. Like they played, you know, if they play the way they did against United a few weeks ago in that first half, you know, they'll really, you know, make it tough for us. And well, hopefully, Neves will be back for that. Fingers crossed. But yeah, like I said, not many positives to take from that game, other than, you know, we got the job done, we got 3 points, and we're only fighting for league position now, and hopefully we can get a few more wins to, you know, end this season and make it somewhat bearable.